Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Music Lab podcast. My name is Dogg, and I'm so excited to be back with all of you for another episode of the podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us. That helps the bands, artists, and musicals. Also, check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR. Outfitters.com. Don't just wear, RAR. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited. This is the first time I'm getting to talk to Broadway, off-Broadway actors, musicians. Welcome, Drew and Julianne. How are we today?
Doing good, Doug.
Yeah,
Good.
good to meet you.
Absolutely. So, tell the audience where you guys are talking from.
Sure. Go ahead, Julian.
I live in Weehawken, New Jersey, the home of the Lincoln Tunnel. So, I've got my little nook here in Weehawken, New Jersey.
Awesome. I'm in Bushwick, Brooklyn, hanging out with all my hipster barista friends.
So, if you guys tried to travel to each other, how long would that take?
An hour.
Non-rush hour time.
Like
Probably
an hour,
an hour.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, far enough away then.
Yeah.
So what brought us together is this show called Music City Nashville. It started on June 24th. The premiere night, you guys have done this before. How was this premiere different than every other thing that you've done in the past? Julianne, you can start.
Well, it was my first Western, country music themed party. Good outfits, good costumes. It was a lot of fun. This is such an immersive show. Also, this is my first show being an actor, so that's been something new for me. Yeah.
Drew, go ahead.
Yeah. I've been with this show for a long time, so getting to see it open, in such a capacity that really embraced what has been built for years and years was so cool. Seeing the Wicked Tickle literally come to life. I've been saying the Wicked Tickle for 13 years at this point or so. And so actually knowing that the place exists and opening it up to the public is just awesome. Yeah.
So, go back to year one then. Where you were at in your career, how this all came about and got started with JT.
I got involved with the show through a friend that I think Julianne probably knows too, named Tim Hansen, another music director, wonderful music director. I was working with him at Penn State. I was a student at Penn State. And had started playing for the musical theater productions there. And he was like, "Hey, I'm doing this reading of a new show that at the time was called Smile. There were only 3 or 4 songs in it. He's like, do you want to come in and just play a couple tunes?" I had no idea who JT was. I had no idea what anything was, but I was like, "Ooh, I want to go to New York and play some drums." And that ended up being the very first reading of this show. Yeah, it was also my first show in New York ever. Was the very first reading of this, and so it was. I was a young buck at the time. Definitely, I was probably 18 or 19.
So then, when did Eric get involved with all of this? Then,
take that one, Julianne, or do you know?
I don't really know.
Oh, got it. I do know. Eric got involved later on as the show developed and turned into. The show was not originally set in Nashville. It was originally set in Louisiana. It was a whole thing. But as the show developed, probably I'd say it was 4 or 5 years ago, that maybe a little more. I think it was 2019. Eric was brought on to do one of the readings. It went through so many different reading styles. He was brought in to do one of the readings through a producer. And so he got involved that way, was just going to do this reading, but he loved it. He really loved the piece. So eventually he ended up picking it up with his company, Bedlam.
Gotcha. So let's go back to 2019, 2020. When the world shut down, you guys in a business that, you need people in the audience. How did you guys persevere and personally kind of get through the pandemic?
I guess for me, I'm a pianist. I've always been a pianist. Um, so I think one of the most comforting things to me was to learn that, or to accept that, I'll never actually starve or go hungry or be homeless because I play the piano. So everybody's always willing to take care of the artist and trade and barter. I bring joy. I play a lot for communities. I'd put on concerts in my backyard and people would bring food, or like, it's wonderful to see how music and community go hand in hand. So yeah, I lived here in Weehawken, and we got to know our neighbors, and I got married in our backyard, and we had a backyard wedding, and I put on concerts all the time, and the police came a couple times because the drums were so loud, but we had fun. I raised a lot of money. I put like live stream concerts, and then yeah, in 2021 I went to grad school, and so that's kind of what it was about for me. I learned a lot about PTZ cameras and OBS studio and live streaming and putting together virtual choirs, and so I just really worked on my technical skills, to be honest. Yeah.
How about you, Drew?
I ended up becoming a high school English teacher for a little while in Virginia. That was my degrees in creative writing is what my actual degree is in. And so that just kind of translated over to like, there was an opening at a school where my brother was teaching, and they said, do you want to do this? And there wasn't a lot of music or theater work for me. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's give this a try. And I loved it. It was awesome. I taught ninth and 10th grade English, lots of Romeo and Juliet and the Odyssey and all those kinds of things. I also ended up working with a music studio out of Stanton, Virginia called Queen City Music Studios. Same, I had to do a lot of OBS and a lot of we would do online concerts and those kinds of things. Play with a band down there called the Judy Chops once things, got back around, and sort of played around with a lot of other instruments, a lot of guitar, a lot of bass and things like that. So it was a nice mix of doing music, and I helped with the theater program at the school where I was, and doing lots of stuff. So teaching in Virginia, and that's what I did.
It's amazing. So, Julianne, you mentioned about that this show is like an immersive experience. For our audience who's not seen it, what does that exactly mean? And you both can kind of answer that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the actions happening all around you, in front of you, behind you, to your right, to your left. And the actors are walking through the aisles and having conversations over your head, things like that.
That pretty much.
There's a little bit of sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a little bit of audience involvement. I can say that one of the scariest moments for me in the show is we are tasked with while Julianne is singing an awesome song and killing it, we are tasked with finding someone to slow dance with, and it doesn't always happen. And it's that's always kind of a funny little moment of being like, all right, are we going to get someone to slow dance or not? And it can be a hit to the ego. It's real fun though.
Well, and that's like you said off camera, this whole idea of doing the open mic, before the show, that sometimes it's a hit, sometimes it's not. Tell the audience about that.
Yeah, I think that's it. Sometimes it's a hit and sometimes it's not. But also, I think, there's the spirit of, we want people to go up even if they're afraid or nervous. Like, we like to give people that platform. Yeah.
It's a very supportive group as far as no matter what's happening, we're gonna shout you up, and we're gonna have a good time. That's no question.
So is it kind of just like a karaoke then, where the person is just allowed to sing, or are they given an instrument? Like, what does it all entail?
So we have a house open mic guitar. There's a wireless microphone. I'll always play for somebody if they have sheet music or chords. Drew here will also play for people on guitar and accompany them. We also have it set up so you could bring in a track on your phone and we could connect that. We also have a cajon. We've had people bring 3 people in a band to come, so yeah, we definitely have options.
Do you think that now that that's known, that you're going to get some maybe, would be artists that are trying to like get their little bit,
I mean, we'd
moment.
love to. That's the
Yeah.
point.
Please
Is to
do.
have a
Yeah.
platform. Because then you can film it, you can put it up on the social medias. Like, it's a free platform, basically. I mean, come see our show. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah, you
great
get a free pick if you do it too.
that's true. Now I hand out guitar picks.
You
Yeah.
get guitar picks if you do it.
Nice. That's awesome. So you, Julianne, then I know how Drew got involved with this, but how did you get involved with this production?
Uh, in April of 2024, um, I was working on a contract, potentially working on a contract, and then I wasn't able to do it. But the MD from that then reached out to me and said that she was no longer able to be on this show because she booked another show. So she recommended me to do this Uptown, because we did a whole 5-month run of this show Uptown. So she recommended that I become the music supervisor, director, play Win. And so then she put me in touch with Eric, the director, and we met. And I didn't know anything about the show or hadn't acted before. So I think I'm still the newcomer, because Lolo is new, but no, Lolo has a history with the show. Okay. So but I had no history or anything with the show beyond that. Yeah. So just the network.
So memorization has been always a strong suit for you then, or was that a struggle, or?
Memorizing lines is definitely hard. I'm now there. I'm a classical pianist, so we used to memorize everything.
Sure.
And then concertos, etc. And then there came a point where my brain said no more. And so now memorizing things is actually quite difficult for me.
How about you, Drew? Or is that just a natural talent?
He plays his whole book memorized.
What's that? I know. Yeah, memorizing is something I'm fairly good at. Just the same thing. Being a drummer, percussionist. A lot of times I played with a lot of cover bands growing up, and played a lot of bar gigs. You kind of memorize the tunes and get into that. And then I've done a lot of acting wise. I've done a lot of Shakespeare. Which requires a ton of memorization. Funny enough, though, there was one thing in the show, and I think I said it to Julianne, that I had trouble memorizing, which is I have this extended name. And for some reason, my character does, is Newton Huntington Hartstone Esquire. And that took me, I don't know why. It took me forever. Like, it just would not stick. So I had to work on that one. But memorizing does happen for me pretty fast.
So do you guys have like a pre-show ritual that you individually, do that, or are you like creatures of habit, like on the day of shows, or how does that work?
I am a bit of a chaos monster. So adrenaline is my drug of choice, I think. So I just show up and let's go. For better or worse. Might be why I have neck pain.
Might be contributing. I'm with you though. I'm the same. Show up because this show we kind of, especially with the open mic, we kind of never know what's going to be going. I think was that yesterday we had 2 people suddenly that needed accompaniment, and we were like trying to figure out who's going to do what. But it's just kind of how it goes. Yeah, I don't have a lot of space for routine.
Yeah.
So, because I've been to a lot of concerts this year so far, and like the theme of so many concerts that I've been to, like people like having medical emergencies. Have you guys had any medical emergencies during the shows since you started?
No, but I should knock on wood.
Yeah,
right now. No, we have not had any.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good. You have a healthy audience.
Yeah, so far, thus far.
Yeah.
So the songs that you guys are featuring in this show, "Smile" by Uncle Kracker, well, "Somewhere in My Car" by Keith Urban, and then "Sangria" by Blake Shelton. Is there one song that each of you kind of gravitates toward more than any of the others?
There's we do, Julianne and our AMD PJ have done an amazing job of creating really cool arrangements, along with our guitar player Ann Klein, who's unbelievable, and our also unbelievable bass player Tony Tino, who are just legends. That's such an honor to work with. We do a version of "Somewhere with You" that I would call emo inspired. Which is what I kind of grew up with, and the guy who sings it, the actor that does it, Stephen Michael Spencer, is incredible. I kind of grew up with that, and I think that kind of leaned in, just sort of morphed into this emo rock tune from the country world. Even not the professional recording is kind of that, but we really leaned into it. I don't know. I kind of find that fun. I think it's a neat interpretation. Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's a really good song. I don't think I knew any of these songs. I probably shouldn't say that. I didn't know any of these songs going into it.
I only knew Smile.
Um, but I really like Masterpiece.
Hmm.
Uh, and we do it very acoustic. And uh, I've crafted this really cool, like, whistle tone organ, Hammond organ patch
Yeah,
that I
that's
really
cool.
like. And I just love how they harmonize on it. And I think that's actually probably my favorite song.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. I love
Yeah,
that.
now you know.
Hmm. But now I know.
Yeah,
It
That's
must be.
another good one to listen to bass. That's
Okay.
another good one to listen to Tony. His playing on that's
yeah,
so good. It's so
very
good.
cool.
Yeah.
It's very diegetic too, and how it comes about, which I also really like.
It must be refreshing, though, for both of you to have opportunities for improv because, when you're doing a show 8 nights a week, if you're reciting the same thing, like, it's human nature. Like, obviously, like, you have to try and keep it fresh, but you're having that all the time. Like, talk about how that is such a nice, perk to have, right?
I mean, we definitely improv for the open mic part, but after that, everything is scripted, really, throughout the show. So I've actually been working really hard to not improv on my lines and really try to get them as close as possible. Certainly, like, embarrassingly, like, I don't always say the line exactly as it is scripted. But the open mic is a lot of improv because you just never know what's going to happen or who's coming up next. But there's like certain things that, I know on this, in between this number and this number, I need to talk about the bar, and now it's last call. And oh, by the way, we're going to be dancing if you feel so inspired. Like, I have certain little things that I need to make sure I get in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. It's nerve wracking as well, because then you're also like, what do I say now? Sometimes the crowd is silent. So
Yup.
I have to get used to that. Or they'll sometimes they'll just say stuff to you that you have to navigate around. So there's some fun in that.
What about you, Drew?
Yeah, we the open mic is really where a lot of the improv happens,
Yeah.
and Julie and I both get to interact with an unbelievable actor named Andy Rothenberg, who plays a character called Baker Man at that point. Although the audience isn't necessarily supposed to know he is, that's a little inside for anyone that listens to the podcast. Maybe there's a secret there, but his character is so wild and so out there that he does some truly incredible things. And so working around him and just having to react to whatever chaos he's gonna throw up there is a it's a joy and it's terrifying. I've actually I didn't know this until recently that he starts the show outside, literally outside the theater, dressed as his character and acting like his character to fool people. And it is very impressive and super fun.
Well, Drew, you said before we started how great this St. Luke's Theater is and how it works for like the set. Tell the audience, how exactly like you meant with that.
If you've ever been to Lakeside Lounge in Nashville or any of the dive bars there, it's that. It feels exactly like it. I think it was Clifton, right, did the set. It's a Nashville dive bar. Like, and not having been from Nashville and getting to visit and going there and then walking in, like, yeah, it's true. And I've had a few friends from Nashville come and see the show, and they're like, yeah, I feel like I'm at home. Like, it is a true replication. I
Thankfully, I got to go there during Americana Fest, and you're right, man, it was amazing. The smash burger there was amazing.
Yes. Oh my gosh, they're so good. Yep. There's a dog there named Grayson that frequents. It's a good dog. It's a very good dog. Yeah.
Yeah, Julianne, if you've never been there, you got to make
Never
it
been.
next time you go to
Yeah.
Nashville.
Lakeside Lounge. Big
All
fan.
right, good to know.
So I guess when the audience is entering, is there Do you get that natural like adrenaline like before, like when everybody comes in, like when the lights go on, or at this point is it just kind of like more of a job to you both?
Oh, we're super pumped to have an audience, and like the more that the audience interacts and is happy to be there, the more we are. Like, we certainly are fed by the energy of the audience.
Oh yeah.
We want everybody to have a good time. That's how because we want to have a good time. At least that's my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, I could not agree more. Absolutely. The second we get to start that first tune, like, and just
Yeah.
watching the faces, I'm like, all right, here we go. No, it's
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. What about the costume changes for this show, comparable like for Drew, for you, for other shows?
Really easy for this one. I've got one up top and change it intermission, and that's it. So I have one costume change,
Yeah.
very easy. That part's pretty simple. And I really enjoy. I have a pair of camo overalls that I'm obsessed with now, and I think I'm probably gonna go get a pair myself.
Yeah, you should.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, same. I don't have much. I just have a costume and then I change a shirt. But again, like being a musician, you're not even used to having a costume. So I do have to show up, at least 20 minutes earlier to actually like do my makeup and put on my costume. Which, as musicians, we show up exactly when we have to.
Yep.
No minute earlier. So it's taken some retraining on my behalf to try to show up with enough time to take a breath and be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the show's website, it says in Nashville, heartbreak is the only thing they hand out for free. You guys being in this performance, tell me what that means to both of you individually.
Drew's first.
Yeah, I'm working through that. I'm trying to relate that to my experience with the time in Nashville, being around a lot of my friends who are musicians there. And I'm thinking about their stories as like recording artists. Like, for instance, I was staying with a guitarist friend. She's absolutely incredible. And I found out that she like got kicked out of a band while I was there, one that she really liked. As not for any necessarily, like, nothing bad happened, but they found someone else that fit better, kind of deal. And she was really excited about playing with this group. No longer was. And I that relates to this show to me in some ways, just being like, man, that it really is like heartbreaking there sometimes, even when it shouldn't be. The show deals with some more serious things than that, but I think there's an honesty to it. I think there's a truth to it. Absolutely. Also, sometimes you don't play well and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and that line is actually a lyric from one of the songs that was, I believe, written for this show, and it's towards the end of Act 1. And JT's really masterful lyric craftsman. And honestly, like, to me, that line is just so indicative of life in general. Of, we're just the highs and lows of life and kind of navigating it through. And yeah, what is the cost of something? But I do think that this show does a good job of also celebrating the joys, as well as it really just it takes you all the way through. I kind of think of it like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
You have the love story, but you also have the actual real difficulty of making it, frankly, as an artist, a freelancing artist, whether it's New York or Nashville or LA or et cetera, et cetera. Like the idea of being an artist and a craftsperson and having a career and what that looks like. I think it is full of heartbreak and hopes and everything in between.
Do you think
there's another line in the show? Oh, sorry.
No, you can.
There's another line in the show that they say that like the songs are the currency, and there's this commodification of art that happens that way. But I like that the show, even though they are the currency, we still get the moments of joy, like you were saying, Julianne, of seeing the songs performed, of them writing the songs. We get both. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you think that the success that you're seeing here with the production in New York City, of all places, for a country, like musical, does that give you hope that you could do it in other cities?
I think that this show would do very well in other cities, especially places that are that are even more into country music. I think it would tour really well. Also, I definitely I'm from Indiana, so I have a lot of family at home in Indiana who probably aren't going to travel here to New York to see the show. But if the show were to come through, they would certainly go see it. Yeah.
There's been productions of the show in Pennsylvania, older versions, not quite the version we're doing. In Pennsylvania, in North Carolina, in Texas, I believe, was one. Yeah, and I was there for the Pennsylvania ones. I helped produce those, and I can tell you that the audience response was massive. It was massive. There's some military service involved in the show. I won't give too much away, but I can tell you that we had military members at some of these shows. We offered discount tickets to them and free tickets to some, and blah blah blah. And there were a lot of tears and a lot of reaction, a lot of take there. So yeah, I think it would do well because it has.
Yeah, I mean, that's really cool though that you're getting like these reactions from people. I mean, talk about that. Like, and especially Drew for you that, you've been with this production for so long. Yeah.
Yeah, and that I mean I can use to use that one. So we did the show at a place called the Dean Center for the Performing Arts in Wellsboro, Pennsylvania, and near Mansfield, which we were talking about before. And there was the one that sticks with me is there was a woman who at intermission was bawling. And the show was shaped a little differently at the time. There's a thing that happens in Act 2 now that happened in Act 1. And I, as someone who worked at the theater, was just kind of checking in on everyone. I saw this one boy. I was like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay? What do we need?" Went and talked to her, and she said that her son had passed away from a drug addiction that he had gotten after being in the military. And I was like, if you want us to refund your ticket, and we please, and she was like, no, this is amazing. I think there's some real stories of some real American things that are being touched on here. So that is, I think about her a lot whenever we're doing the show, or whenever on the days when you're like, oh man, we got to do this. Okay, here we go. I try to think about her and that story and that connection. It's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when we tell the audience that you guys are doing 8 shows a week, outside of time for each of you, what do you sacrifice the most?
I will say that my wife works corporate 9 to 5, 10 to 6, Monday through Friday. And if we caught our show schedule, it's weeknights and then the entire weekends. So that has been a bit of an adjustment. We don't really see each other much. That and it's beautiful outside and we have to go into a dark theater and I'm always like, goodbye, sunshine. Also, a lot of my friends work corporate jobs. So luckily, though, people have been rallying to come party and hang out, socialize on a Tuesday night, which for them is a school night. But for me, it's my only day off. So I actually have been scheduling my Tuesdays for friend dinners, etc. So, but yeah, there's certainly some sacrificing there and just seeing my family or, we're pretty locked into the schedule right now.
Yeah.
How about you, Drew?
I think it's a lot of energy. I can say that this morning before this, I had a drum lesson. I'm doing some drum coaching with a really great guy, and it was hard. The lesson was at 11:30. I have to drive half an hour to get to it. It was hard to get out of bed. It really was. I'm still tired, even though we had the day off yesterday. Still just so much energy. So it's kind of taking care of the physical aspects and the mental aspects of everything it's hard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a pinched nerve in my neck that I think is from overuse, so I'm navigating that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the joys of getting old, right?
Yeah, boo. Don't
boo,
want to.
Great.
So, since you're both musicians, I always like to ask my musicians in my bands, and this will be our final question. For you both, if I tell you, man, I can give you your favorite band, your whatever, what is the ideal way that you like to listen to music? Are you a headphones person? Are you in your car? Are you live music? Are you like in your, living room with great speakers? Like, give me your ideal way that you guys like to listen to music.
Mm. Go for it, Julianne.
Um, I like to go to concerts. I like to go with friends. I like to dance. I like to feel it. I like for my body to vibrate to the bass. I like to see all the tech. I program a lot of tech, and I'm a conductor, so I like to see, all the big video screens and the lights, and I like to watch them, the guitarist shred or the keyboards. Also, like if keyboards are out, I'm analyzing their rigs. I know all their signal flow, yeah. So plus, like, I like to be with people. I'm not so much of a alone time sort of gal. So I like to be with my friends or my family and I like to watch everybody have a good time and experience it all together. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. I mean, live music is where it's at. It's part of why I moved to Bushwick. Even though we
Sure.
don't have time, I want to go to the venues, and that's part of why I wanted to be in this area. St. Vitus is opening back up, and I want to be out here watching those bands. Although I do have to say that I very luckily, and I'll just show them off. I just got a pair of these Atoms that
Nice.
are really, really, really fun to,
Nice.
yeah, just like chill out and listen. I was listening to you were talking about Houndmouth. I was listening to them and a band called Medium Build. I just found that some crazy good songwriting, and that's a nice way to do it too. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So I'm sorry. One more question. You hear about in the music industry, especially, and I've been doing this podcast now for 5 years. Like I've felt it. Like how much is relationships and building relationships in your particular industry helped you guys individually with your careers?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's how I got this job is a relationship. Someone saying, "Hey, you would be good for this." It's all about the networking, I think, and it's over a period of years, and yeah, someone and then they know someone, or you take a job because someone's in the room, even though you might not be getting paid much. You're building your resume, or you're building your network, etc. For sure.
Yeah, I used to have a saying I stole from someone that said it was like probably 90% of theater happens at the bar. It doesn't have to be a bar, but it's the hanging out, it's the social aspect. You've got to have that side, and we're incredibly lucky at this show that everyone's just so freaking nice. It's almost disturbingly so,
And talented, crazy
and
talented.
yeah, it's a nutty place, which is really cool. So yeah, I think that social aspect is giant. Like we did a World Cup matchup with everyone got teams and stuff. Our stage manager put together, which was awesome. So we have a big TV in the green room, and we all hang out and watch that. And and that's I think that those are what really build into the career choices that someone's going to say, "Hey, you do this."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Drew and Julianne, thank you so much for doing this. Best of luck with the show. 8 nights a week. The only day off, ladies and gentlemen, is Tuesdays, 7 o'clock show times during the week. And then what are the show times on the weekends?
2 o'clock is the matinees, and then 7:30 on Saturday and 7 o'clock on Sunday. Am I right? Did I get that right?
Correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like your name. You got it.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
right. Cool. Well, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Ladies, and how is the best way to get info and get tickets for the show?
Just gotta head over to the website, I think, or musiccitythemusical.com.
Gotcha. Well, best of luck. I'm hoping to make a trip up and come see you guys and come see the show. So
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Doug.
absolutely. Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our social media pages. That helps us, and that helps the bands, artists, and musicals like Music City Nashville. Also, check out our sponsor, RAR Outfitters. That's RAWR. Outfitters.com. Don't just wear, RAR. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Dogg. You've been great. This is the Music Lab Podcast.